Okay, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, depending on where you are watching this live session from. My name is Akinropo Akinola. People know me as Parenting with Akinropo. So I don't do any other thing apart from, using the principles of parenting by making the principles of parenting available to everybody, such that it could be helpful for them in their parenting, in their family, in their marriage, in their career, and in their life, work, and faith, everything they do. So that is pretty much what I do, and that is what this session stands for. The session is Legacy Hot with Parenting with Akinropo. Legacy Hot with Parenting with Akinropo. Earlier in the day, I shared a video where I made mention of a result of a research that I stumbled on some time ago, and that actually spurred me to want to know further about the issue on ground. So the topic today is privilege without responsibilities. Privilege without responsibilities. Privilege without responsibility. So, in this live session, we're going to have 5 segments. 5 segments in this session. 5 segments in this session. Thank you, Fumi Adeboye, for being online, for joining us in this session once again. You've been a consistent follower. You've been following this live session fastidiously. So thank you. I appreciate you for that. So, like I was saying, this session is going to have 5 segments. The topic is privilege without responsibilities. And I was talking about the research I stumbled on some time ago. So the first segment here is the research itself. I'm going to discuss about the research few minutes, then why the result of the research. Why the result of the research. Then the third one is the causes. The causes. What precipitated the result of this research, right? Then the fourth one, which is the ways out. Then after this ways out, I'm going to give us parents' checklist of what we really need to watch out for us to be sure that though we made available the affluence for our children, we made available the right life for them, nevertheless, are they ready for other responsibilities while they are with us, and at the same time when they leave us? We need to really figure this out. So when I give the checklist, it will actually help us in how we're going to really take care of the necessary things around our children. So I go straight. The research was done by Dr. Eche Zona. It was done by Dr. Ezechona. Thank you, Andersons. Thank you for joining. So this and the topic of the research is, these people, they are about 3. They are trying to look out for the factors that actually contributed or still contributing to the youth violence in Nigeria. That is the real thing they were coming about. And the descriptive result shows that, please pay attention to this. Descriptive statistics shows that 2.37.26% of high social class children, high social class children are prone to engage in youth violence. 2.37.26% of children from high social class are prone to engage in youth violence. Next one, 2.31.25% of children from medium social class are prone to engage in youth violence. Then the third one, 5.24% of the children from low social class engage in youth violence. By the time we look at this, the question will always be, why this social class? Why the children of the high social class engage in violence, in youth violence? Because we expect them to have everything at their disposal, that the children should be made available for the children. Then, because their parents are supposed to be the role model, their parents are not taught. So why are the children taught? Why are the children making problem? Why are they fomenting trouble? Why are they engaging in youth violence in any area they find themselves? This is why this session is out now. And a lot of things I'm going to reveal here today, you must have heard some of them before. You may not have heard them, but let's just pay attention, regardless of the position that we take. There's something I want us to know. A coach told me sometimes ago, about 7 years ago, that the children in the ghetto, lowly rated people, the children in the ghetto don't have a mind of their own. They look up to people in a more privileged environment. Take, for instance, the children in Mushin, some ghetto in Mushin, some ghetto in Oshodi, some ghetto in Ajegule. They look up onto children from VI, from Ikoyi, right? For them to make opinion of their own. The same way most of us here in Nigeria, we don't really, thank you, the intentional parents. Thank you for joining. So meaning that even some of us here in Nigeria, we don't have a mind of our own in a way. We don't have a kind of an opinion of our own. Our opinion is based on the byproducts of what we see from the West, what we see from the UK, what we see from the United States of America, what we see from other parts of the world that we believe that are more economically advanced, technology advanced than us. We look up onto them. So it is what we see that is trending in that place. Somehow, mostly what we see that is trending in the United States of America, in the UK, in France, in Canada, that we bring home and we begin to look at it here. Sometimes ago, back in the days when I was in secondary school, my principal used to say, a mistake in London, a mistake in the West is a fashion in Nigeria. So it is exactly what happens to people, to those children in the ghetto. Any child that you see in the ghetto don't have a mind, doesn't have an opinion of his or her own. They look onto the children from from the higher level. The more privileged people are children, they look up onto them. It is what they do. So that is the reason why I believe that. Thank you, ma. Madam Wendy, for joining. Thank you. That is one of the reasons that we need to focus on that when this researcher, Dr. Eze Choma and his colleagues, when they came up with this, they didn't state all this, but I just put this side by side with what my mentor told me 7 years ago when I went to visit him. He told me this, that once we can fix the elite, he told me then focus on the elite. Don't focus on the ghetto. Forget about the people in Ajegunle. Forget about the parents in Ajegunle. Forget about the parents in any ghetto, in any place. Focus on the elites. By the time you are able to get the elites do what is right, when they do what is right, the children from the ghetto will copy what is right. They won't copy what is wrong. So when these researchers now came up with this, that the children from the higher social class are more, they are prone to engage more, in youth violence, is actually right. Corroborating what my coach told me 7 years ago. Then the next one is, who bears the brunt of this violence? The youth violence they were talking about, that I'm talking about, who bears the brunt? it has been established statistically, right, that the children from the high social class engage more, are found to engage more in youth violence than the children of the lower class. Now, when this violence now breaks out, it is still the children of this, excuse me, it is still the children of this higher social class that bear the brunt. We all witnessed what happened. Anytime there's a violence in any place, in any part of the world, especially here in Nigeria, those guys target high class people. They target the children, they target the parents. When they see you in any Porsche car, in any place, they don't know how you even struggle to buy those things. They believe that you've stolen the money. So the same children bear the brunt. So the question now is, where do we go from here? How do we really convince the higher class parents to pay attention to their children? How do we tell them that maybe when they make so much affluence, when they make it so much available for their children, is that the solution? I mean, when they reduce it, then when they make the children, when they staff them with affluence, they staff them with what is really what they demand. Is that only the solution to this? Let's go ahead in this discussion. That is why I want us to really pay attention, because this research is so extensive. It's not something I can really devour. I can't really devour the whole result from it. But that's why I just picked this smaller part of it, which is the area of our focus today. The children of high social class, they engage in youth violence more than the children of the less privileged. And we've established the point here. Fine. Now, the next one on the agenda is, I've discussed about the research itself. I've discussed about why the result of the research. Then the next one is the causes of this research. The number one cause of this, that precipitated, that came up from the result of this research is availability. It is established. This is what I did on my own. This is something I did on my own. The research I carried out on my own. It is established that almost 70% of high social class parents make themselves available for their children. Almost 70% of high social class parents make themselves available for their children, but not with the right content, not with the right knowledge. So it is possible that we are home with our children 24/7 and they are not catching anything. It is possible that the seed of violence has been sown into their life, unknown to us, though we are available, but we are not available with the right content. Because the question will always be, it is the people, the question, the notion should always be that those children in the ghetto, their parents are not always available. So they are just strayed around. No, but the research showed that even though parents, the high social class parents are available, but many or some of them are not available with right content. So when you are not available with the right content, right curriculum to run your children with, right knowledge, it is as good as not being there. So when you are available 24/7 with your children and you are not available with the right content, you are likely going to be permissive parents. We are likely going to be permissive parents, though we are available 24/7, but we are not available with the right content, with the right knowledge. And when that thing happens, that leads us to the second causes. Why youth violence is more paramount with the children of elites, with the children of high social class. That leads to the entitlement mentality. I discussed this about maybe 4 weeks ago. The causes of entitlement mentality, how entitlement mentality can be curbed, from our children. I explained those things in the session. So it's still in my YouTube channel. If anybody is interested in checking out how to curb this entitlement mentality, so because everything I bring out here is as a result of the personal research I did on my own, and that is another one that I am doing here today. Entitlement mentality. And the first one is availability, but you are not available with the right knowledge, with the right content, with the right curriculum. When you are not available with that, you are likely going to be permissive parents. You are likely going to give them everything. Then when you give them everything they want, everything they think they need, even they want and they need, you give them everything, that will take us to entitlement mentality. So I've explained 2 of the causes for that. Then we move to the next one. What are the ways out of this privilege but without responsibility? Our children are privileged to have everything, but they don't have the responsibility. We are not building in them, the critical skill that will really support them to be responsible while they are with us and when they leave us. What are the ways out? The ways out is, number 1, we build resilience in them. We build resilience in them. How do we build resilience in our children? Meaning that at every stage of their life, a lot of things we make available. A lot of protections we offer them. Yes. Some protections we offer them. This one too, how to build resilience in our children as well. I've done it in a live session here. There are 5 stages to go through to do it. To build resilience in them. There are 5 stages to do. I've done it. They are available in my YouTube channel also. But let me just mention 2 areas there. The 2 areas, the first one is how to build resilience in them for them to be responsible even in the midst of affluence. The first one is shelter stage. The first stage is shelter stage. This is the stage where we make available everything they want for them. The stage of toddler. Age 1, age 2, age 3. When I said everything they want, I'm not talking about pampering them. I'm not saying when they throw tantrum, then you pamper them and give them what they want. That is not what I mean. I'm talking about protection. At that particular stage, we offer them protection because the first point of duty of any parent is the duty of care, duty of protection. So we give it to them 100%. Nobody will give birth to a child now and you see that child crawling to danger and you allow that, you want him to learn. No. You don't want him to learn because at that particular time, the brain of the child has not really formed to really test whether those things could actually harm. It's not everything that their brain could actually process at that particular time. There are some the brain could process, but not to that extent. So at that particular time, we offer them shelter, we give them the house, we give them the food, we give them food protection, perhaps maybe from ages 1 to 6. Then the second stage is the stage of motivation. No, not this. Motivation is the third stage. The second stage is the stage of pain zone. That is pain zone stage. That is when we begin to let them know that fine, we're going to protect them, but guess what? You are not always going to live with this protection for life. That is when they get to age 7 to 12. So we begin to expose them to some age-appropriate difficulties in life. I say that again. We begin to expose them to age-appropriate difficulty in life. At a point in time, somebody will bully them, will fight on their behalf. Then at a point in time, somebody will bully them. We will have taught them skill. First, to identify who a bully is. Then the second one, to tackle bully. It will be wrong from age 12 when a child sees that somebody bullies him in the school, comes home to tell the parent, and the parent goes to school. The parent can go to school, but there are some levels that If we have not really done what we're supposed to do, we can go to school. But if you have done what's supposed to do, that child of age 12 will have known that I've seen this guy is a bully, because my parents have taught me how to identify one and how to attack when a bully attacks me. So that is just the 2 stages. There are 5. If you really want other stages, they are in my YouTube. You can go there. So we begin to introduce all those things to them. So we build resilience in them in that manner. Now, the second one is the art of gratitude. The art of gratitude. Many of our children don't know when to say thank you. They believe that anything we give them, they are entitled to it. They believe that it is their responsibility to have them. When we don't teach them the art of gratitude, that child is going to be prone to violence. And guess what? The violence that I'm talking about, the violence that we see around, the destruction of properties, burning down of many areas, arsons, engage in those physical fights, around, even anger, right? Those ones are just mere effect. There are causes to it. And causes is what I've explained. That is entitlement mentality, and we are available, but we are not available with the right content. So those things have actually built the components of violence in them. They built the components of violence in them. So when we begin to now experience the physical violence outside, it is not what we say. Something has caused it. So if we don't really cut the root of what causes those outward expression of violence that we see, it will continue to expand, it will continue to grow, and at the same time, the people in the ghetto will always have the opportunity to see what is happening over there, what is happening on the other side, and they express their own raw, forgetting that we are the one that sowed the seed of that violence in them. So when our children are not really taught the art of gratitude, it will definitely lead to violence in them from teenage level, and when they become youth and when they grow up, when they begin to have their own family. This is what I wrote here. Gratitude improves emotional and physical health and can equally strengthen relationship and commitment. Gratitude improves emotional and physical health and can equally strengthen relationship, strengthens community, strengthens society, strengthens the town, strengthens the state, strengthens, the country. That is what gratitude does to our children. At any level they are, when we make everything available unto them, whether the school fees, whether anything, we should always tell them that please say thank you to everything and everything from everyone that you get. Then the third one is happiness. Happiness. How do we make use of the value of happiness to correct the anomalies of youth violence in our children? I will explain. When we begin to give them everything they want, what they want at a particular time, they begin to ask for more. They begin to ask for more. There was a time here in a live session I shared with us one research like that. In India, a guy sued his parents. He said they didn't take permission from him before he was given birth to. And so, I'm talking about 27-year-old boy, right? I'm talking about 27-year-old boy. And he sued them because at a point, the parents told the guy that you have to go out and work for yourself. The guy sued them because he believed that he deserves to be pampered by his parents. They didn't take permission from him before he was given birth to. So now he's here with them. They are supposed to give him everything he wants. Even if he wants to marry for me, feed my wife, build a home for me, give me a car, give me everything that I want in life. Right? That is one of those things that happens, on the field. So now, the guy had enjoyed happiness from his parents to a certain level that he could not tolerate the resistance from his parents again. And I have been told long before now that Happiness is a byproduct of a self-disciplined life. So when we have made almost everything available for our children, we are not giving them happiness. Rather, we are giving them sadness. Because at a point when they begin to have all those things, when they are getting it, they want this, you give them this, you give them that. You think they are making them to be happy, but by the time you say no, you withdraw those things, then sadness will come in, depression will come in, and that will lead to violence. That's when they begin to throw almost everything in the home. We all have seen a video that surfaced some time ago, maybe in 2019 in Canada. A teenage guy, that was just throwing tantrum in the home, dismantled everything in the kitchen. It's because that guy, to some extent, had enjoyed happiness from his mom. But how do we give them happiness? We give them happiness when we discipline them. That is the outcome of effective disciplined life. Happiness is a byproduct of effective disciplined life. And I said here again, happiness is a byproduct of self-disciplined life. Then it is all about managing our expectation. When we are not able to manage the expectation for our children, what will happen is violence. But when we discipline them, we manage their expectations, because when everything they want keep coming, they want this, they want that, they want this, they want that. They are happy to a certain level, but the day you withdraw, that you're not going to do this again, they resort to violence. They resort to violence. And when they resort to violence, depression sets in. Rather, when we withdraw, when we don't give them again, depression sets in. When depression sets in, dissatisfaction sets in, then after those ones set in, when they couldn't bear it again, they resort to violence. So when they resort to violence, what again now is the benefit of the parent that is available, or the parents that are available 24/7 for the children? So when you look at all these things that I've explained, you will always know, because when I tweeted it, on my Twitter handle 2 hours ago, somebody tweeted at me. Even the person knows me, just sent a message to me that, how did you say this? But because he believed that it's the children from the ghetto that should actually be prone to youth violence. That is what we begin to see. But I have to tell the guy that what you are seeing, it's a report, it's a byproduct of what those guys are seeing. They've seen that has been manifested in the life of the children of high social class. Causes have taken place from the people in the social class. The effect is what we are seeing in Mushi, Oshodi area, local place. And I did mention as well that we people that we think that we are educated, we were exposed to a certain level, we don't really, in a way, to a certain level, have a mind of our own, opinion of our own. It is what we see the West do. It is what we see them invent. It's what we see them do. It's what we see them live their life. It's what we see them reject from their government that made us to begin to think that, I don't think we are going to take this any longer. This thing happened in this place, then we should resist as well. So that is how the concept of life, to a certain degree of imitation, is built. The people in the ghetto don't have a mind of their own. It is what they see the elites do that they copy. But when they copy, they do their own, in a more raw way. Now the question now is, how do I identify in my children that this child or these children are likely to grow to be violent? What do I know? What do I watch from my students? What do I watch? So for me to curb some excesses in them, I have about 10 here, but I'm not going to explain the 10 because it will take much of our time. Permit me to explain 5 out of the 10. Let me highlight 5 out of the 10. One of them, when you notice that there is impatience in your child, in your student, in your learners, or in your children, in your children, meaning that they want everything now. I noticed that thing, in one of my children. I noticed that thing, and from that, there was a curriculum to that. I sat the guy down. This thing, you can't continue like this. It will endanger your life. How do we solve this problem? And we sat together. There was a solution that was created. So when you notice impatience in your children, know for sure that that child is likely, to go into violence. It means that he wants everything now. Number 2, laziness. We all know what laziness is all about. Please, there is caveat emptor here. When I say laziness, I don't mean almost every time that our children don't want to work in the home, that it is because they are lazy. That is not what I'm talking about. That is not what I'm talking about. There are many things to do for you to ascertain that this guy is lazy, meaning that I don't want to work for it. I just want it anyhow. I just want it. When you notice that, know what to do. That is one of the signs that this guy will go violent anytime soon when she has the opportunity. Then the third one, that is comparison. I want to have this because my friends have it. When a child comes up, good day, ma, Madam Bujisola, thank you for joining. When a child wants something just because another child or another friend of his, of ours, has it, watch out. I want to have this phone because my friends have it. Watch out. That is one of the signs that can lead to violence in children. The fourth one, irresponsibility. I don't want to clean my mess. You caused a problem. You caused a challenge. Solve it. If you can't solve it, give me the solution. Write the solution and start. And let me support you. Let parents support. But if a child is always try to be, doesn't want to clean his mess, she doesn't want to clean her mess, that means there is irresponsibility. There's a seed of irresponsibility in that. Or he or she will always want to blame somebody for doing that, right? That is one of the signs. Watch out for it. Then the last one, which is anger. Anger. I am mad that people don't give me what I want. In fact, I am mad at my parents, at my dad, at my mom now, because what I want, they didn't give me. That is one of the signs. I've explained 5 signs here. The first one, impatience. The next one is laziness. The third one, comparison. The fourth one, irresponsibility. Irresponsibility. They don't want to clean their mess. Then the fifth one is anger. I am mad at people because they did not give me what I want. So all these 5 points, they are checklists for us to work with. When after now, we can just run ourselves through it. Just look at them very well. By the time we look at them, take a critical look at the way our children behave. And I've said something, caveat emptor. Don't take all these 5 points hook, line, and sinker. We have to be very, very careful in labeling our children along the line of these 5 checklists. If you are not so sure of what is happening, reach out to a professional. Let a professional diagnose what the child is doing before you begin to say the child is impatient, the child is lazy, the child compares too much, the child is irresponsible, or the child is always anything. Like anytime he doesn't have what he wants, he goes violence, or he's always angry. So we need to be very, very careful in labeling them along this line of checklist. So this is just 30 minutes. We spent 30 minutes, which is what I promised. The live session is going to be 30 minutes. Then maybe the next 5-7 minutes we can take the questions. Yoruba gospel music. Thank you for joining, for being around. Thank you, Madam Ujisola, for writing this out. Laziness, comparison, causes violence in children. Irresponsibility also. Anger, being mad at people because the child wants everything. Exactly. And everything, nobody gives the child everything, right? The only people that do that are the permissive parents, just because they are home 24/7 doesn't really mean that we know what we are doing. If we don't have the right content, we don't have the right curriculum, to raise them, being at home 24/7 doesn't really make any difference to them in their life. So if you have any question, contributions, let's read them out. Thank you for standing by this program. This is Legacy Hot with Parenting with Akinropo. So while waiting for any question or further contribution on this, let me quickly use this opportunity once again to let us know that, you joined late. Let me quickly run through Madam Ujisola. Now, the topic is privilege without responsibility. Privilege without responsibility. And I started with the result of a research that was conducted, and I got this research online some times ago, and I worked further. I used the research as a base for my own. From that research, it was established that the children of the high-class parents engage more in youth violence than the children of the low-class parents. And I juxtapose that when you look at that again, the people that bears the brunt, the class of people that bear the brunt of violence are still these people from the high class. Take, for instance, anytime there is any violence, outbreak of violence in a country, in the state, in any community, the first class of people that those people go for, they are the highly privileged people. Those are the people they go for. So it's like a vicious circle. You cause the violence, then you bear the brunt of the violence. And I did say that the people in the ghetto don't really have the mind of their own. The people in the ghetto don't mind. The children in the ghetto don't have the mind of their own. They look onto the children of the elites to form an opinion. The same way we too look for the West to form our opinion. That is how the cycle of life is. So that is exactly what we have explained. And one of the reasons for that is because there is a research that supported that. And I went for that to now to verify that research based on what the man had given unto us. And we came out with the causes of youth violence, the ways out, and the checklist for us to know there is a seed of violence in our children. That is exactly what today's topic is all about. Fine, we're going to make available the necessary things for our children to really grow effectively in life, to learn many things they want to learn, for them to be independent and for them to be responsible. Nevertheless, while we are making this available, we must not in a way withdraw the skill for them to be responsible from them. Otherwise, they will grow up to be violent. And being violent is not what we see now. What we see now is the effect. There are causes. So if we tame, we curtail, and we raise them with the skill for them to curtail the causes of violence in them, there will not be anything like effect of what we see in every spheres of influence in Nigeria of today. That is exactly what I have explained. So far, Legacy Hot with Parenting with Akinropo is still on Ovation International Television. You can catch up to watch these interesting and compelling topics on our TV decoder. Our TV decoder is available in the market. It's a one-off payment. Once you pay for subscription, it is free to air. The football matches are there, movies, nice movies, interesting movies, everything, they have it. Interesting cartoon network that could actually build resilience in our children. I've had time to watch all those things. They have nice programs there. There is no need for us to pay monthly subscription. Everything is just once, and you enjoy your view. So Legacy Hut with Parenting with Akinropo is live on Ovation International Television. So I want to use this opportunity to thank everybody who has been around today, who has contributed, who has done great job in supporting this live session so far. It comes every week. Every Monday we come here to discuss about the issues affecting our children, issues affecting the nation, issues affecting the parents, because we can't still do without talking about the nation, because if the nation is not so fine, if the nation is not so at peace, parents won't be able to be at peace with the children, and the children will be looking up to those leaders as well, that this is what they are doing, I'm going to do all those things as well. So this is what this session is all about. But for now, we're talking about our children, and we're talking about the schools, we're talking about parents. How can we do this better? I think that is the reason many children have entitlement mentality these days. Yes, entitlement mentality is one of the critical moments. One of the critical reasons why we must focus on our children, with right knowledge, right content. I always tell parents that almost every parent has been permissive, because through the job of care of duty, the duty of care, through the work of protection, we are likely going to overprotect our children at a particular point in time. But with the right knowledge, you'll always know how to draw the line, that it is now time for you, my son, for you, my daughter, to experience appropriate risk level in your life. So, in the absence of any question or contribution, we have to call it a day. If there is any other question further, I think the message is still going to be here. Then I will take them. We can send the questions, on my Facebook handle, or here. We will handle them. If I can't handle them, there are many people that can handle it. Madam Mujisola can handle them. So thank you, ma'am. Everybody, I want to appreciate you for being around in this live session today. See you again next week. If there is any need for me to come here in the course of the week, I'm going to make myself available. Thank you. I appreciate everybody.